It's called putting your money where your mouth is, literally. Enter Syngenta. It's a Swiss seed company owned by a Chinese company. It was bought almost 2 years ago by state-owned China National Chemical in a $43 billion deal, the largest ever overseas acquisition by a Chinese company. And Syngenta has big plans. It wants to increase its sales in China to more than 20% from 3% now as it looks to IPO. It's also looking for medium-sized bolt-on deals, and it wants to change the world. Late last year, it unveiled big sustainability goals, reducing the carbon intensity of its operation and supply chains by 50% by 2030, and investing $2 billion over 5 years in projects that deliver a step change in agricultural sustainability and targeting 2 breakthrough innovations a year. It's easy to spend that kind of money. It's a lot harder to scale the technology and deliver a return.
And Alix recently caught up with Alexandra Brand and asked about the company's agricultural breakthroughs.
The first big breakthrough innovation we are driving forward is a program in Brazil called Reverte. We've been designing this program together with the Nature Conservancy and together with 7 banks and together with academia, with Embrapa, which is the agricultural university system in Brazil. So that's very, very strong. We found a way for growers to restore their soils, degraded soils from cattle grazing, and bring that back into agricultural production. This will be very powerful because it takes pressure off the biomes like the Amazon and the Cerrados, which are very valuable for nature, and enables sustainable agricultural expansion in Brazil.
Meaning that you can just refarm the same spot over and over with the cattle, or how does that work?
Yeah, the land is at the moment bare. It has been overgrazed by cattle. And what we would do now is we have growers signing up for an 8 years program because it takes so long to bring this land really back and be fully productive and profitable. We'll offer the grower financing for the first year, to get soybeans planted. In the second year, to get really good fodder crops planted that you can let the animals on that farm and on that land, and in the third year that you can grow corn, and you rotate that over time. And with that model over time, the soil restores, it gets back to fertility, and you get back productivity and then profitability for growers. And these are the metrics with also how we measure the program.
What's the second big initiative then for the next year that you're looking at?
The second big initiative is certainly on China. We are a Chinese-owned company, and there are very high expectations how modern agricultural technology can help China to bring up agricultural productivity, to bring down soil erosion, to bring down air pollution, to bring down fertilizer overuse, and to bring down pesticide overuse. So that's another big program we are launching.
And it's hard to reach the target because there's just not that much research done or that many opportunities, or it's hard to find ones that are profitable. Why is it hard to reach that?
We need ecosystems of partnerships. When you take the US, for example, there are food companies who are starting to experiment how would sustainable food production really resonate with consumers. And these are very, very interesting partners for us with whom we are teaming up. And then, you need to transfer that into an agricultural model for growers which works, where they can really earn money. And then you need to look at where do you need to invest in your R&D, in our R&D, to help, provide different products and solutions for growers. So it's an ecosystem of partnerships you need to bring together. And then people need to develop the business model which works for growers, which works for the investors, and certainly, the technologies, if they are not yet ready there at scale to develop these technologies. So that's why it's not so easy to find things at scale. I have no problem spending $2 billion, but I want to spend that in a way that it drives forward the growth of Syngenta, the profitability of growers, and the right outcomes for nature.
But for this particular, it's the scale. If a couple farmers, they work, cool, but it has to be on a broad swath that means success.
It absolutely must be at scale. I mean, we have a phase of 10 years of really, really great pilot projects on improving the sustainability of agriculture. I personally was tired of that. I wanted to drive things at scale, and I wanted to make sure that it's a win not only for the grower and for the environment, but also has a P&L and a bottom line impact for Syngenta.
Well, fair point. So then if I'm an investor eventually when you IPO, how do you're going to break it out? How do I know? How can I measure Syngenta and success?
Absolutely. So we have the target out there, what we want to invest. And these targets will be independently audited like in any good sustainability plan of a company. Where I want to get to is that we also provide investors with the revenues, what we are getting from these programs. And with that, certainly my assumption is that our growth will be over proportional when we can show that we are investing into these agricultural systems.